Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk to you about my first birth experience as a student midwife. Now I'm actually going to break these down into two experiences, which is my first ever witness of a birth, the first time I ever saw a birth, and that was as a student, and my first kind of catch when I helped a woman birth her baby. So if you're interested in that, just keep watching. So these two experiences are actually quite contrasting, and you'll kind of see why as I get into the explanation. So my first birth was on one of my first days as a student in birth unit. The other students and I were all orientating, so we were kind of sitting in an office type room, and then we hear the buzzers, so that's for a receive, so it's for someone to go in and help deliver, and someone comes in to us and they're like, who would like to see a birth? And of course, first day as a student, first kind of birth, I was like, yeah, me. So I stuck my hand straight up, and then I was taken to the room. So in this situation, the woman had an epidural and she was like on the bed, and the room was actually quite calm. The midwife who was helping out with the birth was also a super incredible midwife who has come to be one of my mentors now. She's absolutely incredible. She was super calm, she was super relaxing, and she went through and explained everything. But I did feel like an intruder on this woman's birth space. Obviously they asked her if she was okay to have a student there, and she said yes, she was fine with it. But just coming in as a little old student and just standing there in her birth space, which had probably taken hours to create, really made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. But I was also obviously super privileged and grateful and excited to be there. So actually seeing the crowning and everything was very similar to what I'd seen on YouTube. Like I've said in some previous videos, I really tried to desensitize myself to the birth, so it wasn't a shock. The midwife even said, oh, is this your first birth you've ever seen? I was like, yes. And she's like, don't faint on me, okay? Just don't faint. Because it can be quite common. But I think as I desensitized myself, I was pretty good to go. As the actual baby was born, I also, obviously it was a privilege to be there, and I thought it was quite a miracle, but it was very anticlimactic because I did not have that bond with the woman. I was kind of just chucked in the room. And obviously I still thought it was quite a good experience. The baby came out crying, they took it to the resuscitator, and the midwife explained, you know, the rationale for everything. I thought the baby was super cute and amazing. It was the first time, like, it was the newest baby I'd ever seen, obviously, and I thought it was so cute. I was so scared to even touch it. I was like running away. I was like, oh, what'd you name the baby? And as if like they'd had all this time in the world to name it. And then it was time to deliver the placenta, so I watched, and the woman bled, and I was like, oh no, it's a PPH, this is what we've heard about in class, the woman's gonna die, basically. I was really freaked out and stressed, but it turns out it was only about 200 mils because it was just the placenta separating. So that's why it definitely pays to have your basics down. So like I said previously, I was incredibly privileged to be a part of this woman's birth. But I did feel like, again, I was an intruder. I think overall it was a positive experience, but compared to my first catch, it was definitely different. I thought it was amazing to have that mentor there explain everything, and to consolidate what I'd been learning with uni, and to be actually see it in front of me was awesome. But altogether, perhaps I felt a little bad for the woman who had just had this random person in her birth. And I also felt like I didn't quite belong there. I really didn't have any confidence whatsoever or any knowledge of what to do. Then came my first catch. So my first catch was actually only maybe the third or fourth birth I had been a part of. So I was still relatively new. However, this was a continuity of care woman or follow through woman, which basically meant that I had built a relationship with her. I had seen her antenatally, and then I was called in for her birth. So this woman was quite young, and she really didn't know a lot about what to expect from the process. I know she went in saying that she would like an epidural, and she kind of expected the birth to be on the bed, very much like a hospital scene. So I remember I created for her this mind map of like pharmacological and non-pharmacological pain relief, and like did like a tree branch out of like all of them, and how they worked, and like the kind of progression of pain relief. And I was super enthusiastic and super passionate about educating her, because her being a first-time mum, I feel like she really listened to me and took what I had to say on board, because I was there and enthusiastic and passionate about trying to get her the best birth experience possible. So then it came to being called in, and I was actually called in quite early when she was about 3 or 4 centimeters. So then we had a rule without uni that we were only allowed to stay 12 hours. So then began the panic that I would not be able to stay the whole time, but I kind of just knew that I'd be there for the birth. I'm like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, it'll be okay. So we had talked about her birth plan, and you know, I'd said, how would you like to birth? And she's like, don't you just birth on the bed? And I was like, no, there are so many options. You can get in the water or be on the floor. And so we had discussed positions in labor, and we had done all this pre-work and pre-education so that when it came to the birth, I went and got her a yoga ball. She knew what to do with it. She knew the advantages of an active labor, of being upright. So she did that. She was such a trooper. She was incredible. And then when it came to pushing, also just being able to be by her side and knowing her, it was a super empowering experience. As it was time for baby to be born, the husband got very overwhelmed seeing their partner in pain, which can be a normal response, and he actually had to leave the room. So I think being able to be there, kind of not in place of him, but as a person she knows in the room, really was a rewarding experience, because I know that we made eye contact a lot, and I tried to give as much encouragement as I could and make that birth experience as positive as possible. So once she had the baby, it was incredible. I remember we put the baby on her chest and she looked down and she just said, I'm your mummy, and I was just crying. I was absolutely full of oxytocin and love and passion. It was just unreal. Any questions she had, she would ask me. Obviously, if I didn't know them, I would ask the midwife working with me. But it was so empowering to play a part in this woman's care, know exactly what she wanted from her experience, and be someone she really looked up to. As you can see, in just 2 or 3 births time, having had that continuity, I already felt confident. Even though I was a first year student, quite inexperienced, I still felt confident because it was the woman in control of her care. I knew what she wanted. I knew how to get that for her. For example, I had researched those pain reliefs, those types of pain relief, so I was able to explain to her the advantages and disadvantages. And then I was able to follow up with her in the postnatal period and help her with that initial breastfeed, and I got to help her bath the baby. And it was just such a heartwarming experience, and really this experience set in stone for me why I wanted to be a midwife. And it's something I constantly look back on when I'm having those down days and I'm a bit unsure. I remember that first experience and it really pushes me forward. So as you can see, there can be contrasting experiences with the births you have. No two are the same, but I just want to encourage you that although, you know, your first birth that you ever watch or do may seem a bit anticlimactic, or you're uncertain or scared, or you don't feel confident that you can do this, there's always other experiences, and there's always going to be those women that you connect with and are able to have such a positive experience with. So that's basically a promotion for continuity of care and how much I believe in it and hope to work in it one day, as well as just letting you know to keep going even if you have those bad experiences. So that's it for my birth experiences. I want to hear about your first experiences below if you have any, or message me on my Instagram or my Facebook, which is down below. I would love to hear it. If you're interested in hearing maybe my best birth experience, let me know and I will do a video for that. But thank you for watching. I appreciate your guys' ongoing support and I absolutely love it when you message me. Absolutely love it. I'm happy to help with assignments or just general like midwifery stuff. Anything, I will get back to you, I promise. So thanks again, and I will see you next time.